mathematical composition. Don't wanna get up on the track like that, wanna spit on the mic and do it just like that. To a beat that I'm speaking, the way that's unique to the beats in the street with a medical heat. When I'm flipping and singing and spitting the venom and giving the sound that ain't nobody bringing. I'm ripping the mic when I'm up in the zone.
I'm about to go beast mode.
Alright guys, Mr. Enyart here. Today we're going to talk about subtraction. Subtraction, of course, is when you compare things and you're trying to find the difference between them, you use subtraction. And so some keywords that we see in real-world problems are difference. Find the difference between these two things. Compare, than. Than's a big one. You'll see more than, less than, and that's usually to compare them. And then, the word less. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to give you a few problems to try, and I want you to pause the video and solve them yourself, and then check back with mine and see if my explanation and yours are similar, different. Basically find whatever you can to take from it to either enhance your skills or learn some new ones. All right, here we go. Alright, so I'm going to leave this up here in case you need it, but what I want you to do is I want you to pause the video and then read this problem and try and solve it on your own. When you're all done with the problem, play the video and check my solution with yours and see if you were able to get it correct. Go ahead and pause the video now. Alright, so let's look at the problem. We've got two guys here. I'm not going to spend time reading it because I know you read it. But we have a certain number of yards ran by one, a certain number of yards ran by the other, and they are comparing each other's abilities here. So what we want to do is we want to find the difference, the gap between these two numbers. Now that, of course, creates this problem. We put the bigger number on top, and 1,000 is more than 800 because it has a whole other place value. So we had to get 10 here in order to get a 1 here. And we want to set up a subtraction with this symbol and then the equal sign underneath. And we're going to start over in the ones place, taking away a 6 from a 1. So if I had 1, can I take 6 away? No, of course not. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to borrow from next door, and I can only go one place next door, so it's a 4. Now, anything greater than 0 can give 1 away, and numbers are selfless, so they're always willing to give 1 away. So the 4 is going to make itself a 3, giving 1 away, and the 1 that we borrowed is going to become 10 of these 1s. So what's really happening is this. This we'll call a 1's unit, and this 1's unit, we only have 1 of them, and we need to take 6 away from this. Well, we don't have 6 to give, so we're going to take from this 4. And this is what the 4 tens look like, because this is in what we call the tens place, the second digit from the right. I have 4, and they're tens units, so it takes 10 of these to equal just 1 of these. So this is 40 of the single units. And what we're going to do is we're going to trade 1 of these for 1 of these, for 10 of these. So here you can see I've crossed out 1 of these because I'm trading it. I'm taking it away. I'm making it something different but same value. And I broke it into 10 of the 1s. And so now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, plus the 1 I already had. I have 11, which is where the 11 comes from. And I'm left with just 3 of the 10s. And that's what the regrouping, that's what's really happening, is we're trading a digit that is a place value greater, and we're making it the same value of the smaller digit, smaller place value. So what happens is you're breaking it into those smaller pieces, even though 10 and 10 are the same amount. So now we just go ahead and subtract right here. We don't want to keep trying to regroup until once we get an amount that we can subtract, we subtract. So 11 minus 6 is doable, and it is, that is correct, 5. So now we move over and we have 3, and we're trying to take 7 away. So can we take 7 away from these 3? Nope. So what we got to do is we got to go next door to borrow, but uh-oh, I don't have anything next door to borrow. I can't get something from nothing, so I have to go to the next door, which is a 1, and yes, a 1 can give something away. Remember, numbers are selfless. So the 1 is going to give itself away, leaving nothing there, and that was 1,000. And it's going to trade it for 10 of the hundreds. Now, I still don't have any 10s. enough tens. But now that I have 10 hundreds, can I take 100 away from that? Absolutely. And that is why, since we skipped the 0, it becomes a 9, because now we have 9 hundreds, and that gives us 13 of the tens. So now we can subtract right here in the tens place, 13 minus 7. Very good. 6. 9 minus 8. Very good. 1. And I don't have any thousands to bring down, so I don't need to bring down the comma. I don't need to bring down the 0. My final answer is just 165. And then, of course, I have to answer the question. Remember, the question was, how many more yards has Johnny run for than Mike? So this 165 represents the yards. That is the difference between Johnny and Mike's season so far. So now I'm going to give you 3 problems. Again, I want you to pause the video, solve the problems, and then play the video and check my solutions. Go ahead and pause now. All right, I'm going to start with number 1 here, this very first one, and I see in the ones place I have a 2, and I'm taking away 9. I cannot do that, and I can never subtract up. So I can't do 9 minus 2. That won't work. It never does work, because I only have 2 to give. I'm starting with this amount, and I'm taking this amount away. So I have 2, can't take 9 away, so I got to go next door and borrow. And 7, of course, selfless 7, gives itself up, becoming a 6, and that was traded for 10 of the ones. So now I have 12 ones instead of just 2, because 10 plus 2 is 12. 12 minus 9 is 3. I can do 6 minus 4, which is 2. I can't do 5 minus 8 here, so I've got to go next door and borrow. That's going to give 1 away. 5 becomes 15. 15 minus 8 is 7. I do need to bring my comma down because I'm going to continue over into a 4th digit. 1 minus 1, that's doable. That's 0. And 7 minus 3 is 4. So my final answer is 40,723. Let's look at this one. This is 6,000 minus 2,508. So right away I see I can't do this, I can't borrow, I can't borrow. So I'm going to be borrowing from the thousands, and I'm going to be trading it for hundreds, then trading it for tens, then trading it for ones. So the 6 will become a 5, and that of course gave me 10 here, which becomes a 9, which gave me 10 here, which becomes a 9, which gives me 10 in the ones place. So now I can do all my subtraction. 10 minus 8 is 2, 9 minus 0 is 9, 9 minus 5 is 4, drop my comma, and 5 minus 2 is 3. So my answer was 3,492. And on my last problem, again, I'm starting here, and I can see I cannot do 1 minus 9. I can't take 9 away from 1. But I can borrow from 8. 8 becomes 7. 11 minus 9 is 2. Cannot do 7 minus 9, so 9 becomes 8. 7 becomes 17. 17 minus 9 is 8. 8 minus 4 is 4. Drop my comma. 6 minus 3 is 3. And then I get to this situation where I don't have anything here, so these are just zeros, right? They're nothings. So 4 minus nothing is just going to be 4. So I'm just bringing down the 4, bringing down the 5. So my final answer is 543,482. All right, how'd you do? So I hope that video helps you. If you have any questions, comments, just feel free to leave them in the comment section below. Subscribe, like the channel, and keep rocking that math.
I'm ridiculous when it comes to these mathematical compositions. You don't want to get up on the track like that. Want to spit on the mic and do it just like that. Do a beat that I'm speaking the way that's unique to the beats in the street with a medical heat. When I'm flipping and singing and spitting and venom and giving the sound that ain't nobody bringing. I'm ripping the mic when I'm up in the zone.
I'm about to go beast mode.